Hey, what's up guys? In this video we're going to be going over the guns of the gameplay, as I like to call it. We're going to be going through the gameplay of Battlefield 4, and I'm going to be showing you guys all the guns that they showed off. The majority of these guns we've seen in previous Battlefields. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the previous Battlefields, but there's a few that are new, and we're going to be going over all of them. So the first one is the one that we see in the beginning when they're in the car, the pistol that is handed to the soldier, or the revolver, you could call it. It's the MP412. We've seen this one in Battlefield 3. We've seen this one in Bad Company 2. We've seen this one in previous Battlefields and also other first-person shooters out there. It's a very familiar revolver, and it's always nice to see revolvers in video games because revolvers usually do pack that big punch, more than like your conventional pistol such as the Glock or the Beretta 9mm and stuff like that. Revolvers usually pack that sort of punch that you've seen in like the old Western Clint Eastwood type movies. The next one that we see is a very, very familiar assault rifle. It is the M16A3, or it could also be the M16A4. Usually there's not a huge visual difference between the M16A3 and the M16A4, and seeing as though we don't really get a huge, like, amazingly detailed look at it, you know, with the character like turning it around, looking in detail at the weapon, you can't really tell the difference between the two at the moment. Whether or not they're going to have both versions in the game like they had in Battlefield 3 is unknown, but one thing I do want to point out is the detail that you see when he pulls out the mag. Notice how there's no round in the mag. When he puts the mag back in and he moves a little bit forward, you'll see that he has no ammo. So when he has no ammo, there's no round in the mag. That's very detailed to me, because there's a lot of video games out there that whether you have a full mag or not, it shows a round in the mag, or it'll just look like a block. Like you wouldn't even see the place where you put the rounds in the mag. It'll just be like a block, and it looks like you're putting a Lego block in your gun. Just small little details like that really do stick out, especially in like trailers and stuff like that. And with the next-gen consoles, hopefully we'll be seeing more little details like that pop out. Also, the attachment that he has on the assault rifle is the M145 MGO optic sight, and he also has a 45-degree offset iron sight. In my previous video, I mentioned this, that you're going to be able to switch back and forth between two sights using the hybrid sight theory. And that's great because you can engage in medium to long distance engagements, and you can also engage in close quarter engagements without having to, you know, zoom in with like an ACOG in close quarter or hip fire. The next gun that we see is the Glock. The Glock is one of my favorite pistols. I like the design of it. I like the durability of it. In video games, you know, it really doesn't matter. It's not like the gun is going to jam up on you. But the Glock is a favorite pistol of mine. I love it. I'm not exactly sure which model it is. It could be the G17, the G18. Hell, it could be like the G23 or some other model out there, some model that we haven't seen in the video games yet. But I am positive that it is the Glock pistol. If you look at the side, you can see the slide of it. You can see the frame of it, and through the front, the way it looks from the front is very familiar with the Glock. The next one we see is my favorite assault rifle. Is the H&K 416, and it's silenced. And this is my favorite assault rifle. It's like the Germans' version of the M4 carbine. It's actually supposed to be the German upgrade of the M4 carbine. So it's nice to see that one returning. It's definitely powerful in Battlefield 3 when they buffed it. So I'm not sure how they're going to be making this weapon in Battlefield 4, if they're going to make it powerful or not so powerful. So interesting to see how this weapon is going to play out. The next one, all-time favorite LMG of mine, M249 SAW. I love this weapon in Battlefield 3 because not only can you play the defensive with it, you can also play the offensive pretty well with it and hip fire with it and do a good job with it. This is probably my favorite LMG next to the M240 Bravo. The M240 Bravo for me in Battlefield 3 was more of a defensive weapon rather than an offensive weapon. It just felt too powerful for running and gunning, unlike the M249 SAW, which when you run and gun, it feels right. It just has that right feeling to it. So it's nice to see this LMG returning. The next one is the shortened 870 combat shotgun. We've seen the 870 before, but we haven't seen it shortened the way it is in this video. It's much more compact, so that way you can carry it on your person and pull it out and use it in close quarter scenarios. and it also has a red dot sight and a foregrip on it. But there's one thing you got to keep in mind. Although DICE has stated that many features that we see in single player will carry over to multiplayer, I'm not sure if they're going to be carrying over the feature of having a shotgun as a backup weapon to multiplayer for balancing reasons. You know, you don't want to have a character running out there or a player running out there with too much power on him, so that way he's unstoppable. You know, like we've seen in the past with overpowered weapons such as the USAS and stuff like that. You don't want to have that going on. But at the same time, if you look at this shotgun, it has a max of 3 rounds. So that may take away from the power, but like I said, I doubt they'll have a player running around there with a shotgun as a backup. The next one we see is a new grenade launcher to Battlefield. It is the M32 grenade launcher with the red dot sight on it. And this is the 3rd weapon that the character is running around with. So I highly doubt this is going to transfer over to multiplayer. There's just no way that you're going to be able to carry a shotgun, an assault rifle, and a 6-round grenade launcher on you in multiplayer. I just can't see this being realistically balanced in multiplayer. This is something that I'm 90% positive is not carrying over to multiplayer. It just like I said, doesn't seem realistic to me. Doesn't seem like something that would be easily balanced. It will seem like something that will give DICE a headache. The next one is a mounted turret. It's the PK machine gun. We've seen these in Battlefield 3 on the vehicles that, such as like Gulf of Oman has those like the Jeeps, the Russian version of the Jeeps running around with the PK machine gun on the top. So this is a very familiar weapon in Battlefield. The next one is either the AN-94, the AK-101, or it could even be the SKS. It's a little difficult for me to differentiate between the 3 because the 3 can be looking very different depending on how you set it up. And it has a PKA sight on it, and the knife animation is the same from Battlefield 3, which I've seen some people in the comment section saying that they wish that there was a new knife animation or something like that, but they still have time to tweak some things before the game is released. They have a lot of time, so we might be seeing a different knife animation when the game releases, but as of right now, no word on that. The next and final weapon that we see in the trailer or the gameplay is the M320 grenade launcher. This grenade launcher was in Battlefield 3. You were able to, mount it on the bottom of your gun if you use the underslug rail. It's a very familiar grenade launcher that we are with Battlefield, so it's nice to see this one returning. Me personally, I don't use grenade launchers too much in Battlefield 3, so I don't have a lot of experience with the M320, but I have seen it a lot in close quarters with people lobbing those nades around. So those are the guns of the gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. Now you know what guns we've seen in the gameplay. There are some other guns out there that you may have spot in the gameplay, but we just didn't get a close enough look to determine exactly what weapon that was, and I just don't want to go out on a limb and say it's this weapon, and when in fact it might be a different one. So I'm not saying that this is all correct. I'm not saying that we're gonna have the M16A3. For all we know, it could be the A4, or it could be something different. We don't really know, like with the AN-94, the AK-101, or even the SKS. This isn't all like 100% correct. It may be a little bit wrong, so I apologize if I am, but I believe I'm pretty accurate. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, don't forget to click that like button, favorite this video, and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I will be covering all the Battlefield 4 news and content as it releases, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.